Good morning. Oh, now y'all, wait a minute. Y'all are going to be teachers. And I came into y'all's classroom today. Good morning. That's better, that's better. That's much better. My name is Penny Roberts, and I work for Athens State University. I've been employed with Athens State for the last 28 years. I received my bachelor's degree, and I'm not going to tell you the year, but I did receive my bachelor's degree from Athens State University, and I just want to welcome all of you. Some of you I may have worked with in your transfer to Athens State. Some of you I may have just worked with you through email, and I'm representing our Student Services and Recruiting Office and Admissions Office today. We wanted to give you a walk-in tour. We had planned that, but we just did not have enough volunteers to get everybody to do a walk-in tour. So we're going to do what we call the virtual tour. We do this when usually it's bad weather, so we're going to kind of go over that. If you have any questions about buildings or anything that you may have questions about what is located where, just hold your hand up really high and I'll stop in the middle, and or if you want to wait till afterwards, I'll ask if there's any questions. I do want to welcome you to Athens State. I think you're going to love it here. I did as a student, and I really enjoy working for Athens State. I can certainly tell you working with students has been a pleasure of mine, and the reward is when you go across that stage at graduation and I see you walk across the stage. So we just want to tell you welcome again, and enjoy your tenure here at Athens State. First of all, we're going to go. We are located, this is the Carter Physical Education Building. You're in that building. We used to have a guys basketball team and a ladies softball team. Our sports were done away with about in 2005. And so now we use the Carter Physical Education Center for events like this. We have other huge events that go on that we use the gym for. Also, you physical education majors, you'll have classes in this building, in the gym, and then there's classrooms down the hall as well. And the Carter Physical Education Center was named for Mr. Tommy Carter, who is was our representative. And he did a lot to help Athens State along the way, especially to keep Athens State's doors open. Founders Hall, many of you may not know, or many of you may know, Founders Hall is the cream color building, which is going to be the furthest to the left, my left. It's the big cream colored building. It's the oldest building on campus. Athens State started out in 1822, where we're an all-female academy. Just to give you, I'm going to give you a little bit of history behind the buildings, not too much to bore you, but enough to get your interest piqued a little bit about Athens State. Like I said, we started out as an all-female academy. Athens State then came under the direction of the Methodist Church in 1975. And then we did have a master's level program back in the 60s and 70s. That was done away with when we came under the direction of the legislature and the two-year college system. As you know now, we have just started master's program level back up. We're really excited about that, and we're looking forward to bigger and better things for Athens State, especially on the graduate level. In Founders Hall, our cashier's office is located there on the first floor. When you walk into the center of the building, as you see on the center door, you will see what we call the parlor. The parlor is just an area where students can sit and study. We have events there. It can be rented. Also, we have pictures of our founding fathers there, people who gave money and land for the university to be built upon. And one of the interesting things about Founders Hall, when it was a female academy, we had one of the lady presidents. Her name was Madam Childs. And Madam Childs was the president at the time of the Civil War. And they came into Athens to burn down the entire city of Athens. And of course, you know, the railroad tracks is just right near the college. So they came through so that they could pull things in and out and get things in and out with railroad. And so they came in to the academy, which was Athens State, and they wanted to burn down the building. And Madam Childs, she was supposedly known for being a stately woman. She was well around the political scene, and it was told to us that she knew President Lincoln. And so when they came to burn down, when the troops came in and knocked on the door and came to burn down the college, and she handed them a letter that was supposedly from President Lincoln. They read the letter, they shut the door, and they posted 4 soldiers at the corners of the building. So Athens State was spared. There was a lot of, the whole city, a lot of the city was burned, but Athens State was spared that day. So Madam Childs had a very big part in keeping Athens State open at that time. Also, in Founders Hall, our president's office, Dr. Glenn, who is our current president, his office is located there. Up on the third and fifth floor, what we call, is located faculty advisors for humanities, fine arts, also our political science, psychology, and those areas. We also have the back of Founders Hall, used to be called our library. And so if you ever walk through Founders Hall and go in the back of the building there, you'll see that we had a very small library compared to what we have now. Also, the 4 columns, just to give you a little more history, the 4 columns is named Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's said to be in one of the columns a little flask of whiskey. I don't know for sure if that's true, but we were told, one of the stories goes that they were building the columns when they were building the building, and one of the guys went home to eat lunch, and so he put his whiskey down in the bottom there of the column, and when he got back, the column was built. They had continued on building on the column, and the actual column was so tall that he could not get down in there. So we're told that there was a flask of whiskey down there. The Student Center is located 2 buildings to my left. This is what we call the back of the Student Center. The Student Center houses all of your admissions records, Transfer Student Success Center, career development, financial aid. Our bookstore is located on the bottom floor. Also, we have our our Vice President for Student Services, our Assistant Vice President. We also have a cafeteria. If you're on campus and taking courses here at Athens State, our cafeteria is open Monday through Friday, and they have delicious meals in there and also a grill, and sandwiches. So if you're ever on campus, please feel free to stop by and go into the cafeteria. We also have, some of you may have already noticed, we have a coffee shop located right outside the cafeteria. And they serve different coffees. They serve also all types of pastries, breakfast items, snacks, and so forth. In the Student Center, if you're looking around, the Student Center used to have a swimming pool down on the first floor. And if you're in the ballroom area, annex area, you can walk around and there are pictures that you can see of the actual building when it was back in the 50s. And it actually houses a swimming pool. So it's covered up now, and you can't go down and look at it downstairs, but we did have a swimming pool down on the first floor of the Student Center. This is McCain Hall. McCain Hall is our education building. Of course, many of you already know that. You probably have been there to see your faculty advisor. That's where all of our professors are located for the College of Education. Also, they have a conference room. Also, I believe they have a classroom down on the first floor. One thing about McCain Hall, it used to be one of our dormitories. It used to be the guys' dormitory, just to kind of give you a little bit of brief history about that. And it used to be a daycare center at one time. The security office is where our security is located. Security is where you get your IDs. How many of you already have your IDs, your student IDs? Great. You need to stop. All education majors must have a student ID. So today, if you have time and you're on campus, and you can check in and see if they'll be prepared to do that. To get you your student ID. Brown Hall. Brown Hall is a vacant building right now. They're in the process of trying to refurbish it. Brown Hall was named for Florine Brown. She was a teacher who taught while it was a female academy. And there was a real bad typhoid fever breakout, and she stayed back to take care of some of the girls who had typhoid fever. In fact, she caught the typhoid fever and she died. But they were located in this building. In this building, we've had our administrative offices. Our president's office has been there at one time. Our assessment offices, our academic offices have been there at one time as well. The library is straight across the street from us, and I'm sure most of you have already had a chance to go into our library. It was built in 1998, and it's our first freestanding library. We were very excited when the library went under construction, and like I said, it's our first freestanding library. The Writing Center is in the library, and we also have what we call a commons area. Many of you may know it's like an area where you can sit and relax, study. And also you can rent rooms. If you wanted a room for several study sessions, if a group of you wanted to study, there's rooms upstairs that you can just not really rent, pay for, but you can check out. And you can also study in there as well. Also, our writing lab is over there, just making sure that you know about our writing lab. Waters Hall is the building that is directly beside us to my left. Waters has totally been refurbished. Waters contains our computer science, mathematics, and science classes, but we have started having courses over in other courses, education, business, over in Waters Hall. We also have a mathematics lab as well. So if you're taking the math, MA 311, if you're taking that course, you can also seek assistance in the math lab. The classroom building. The classroom building is directly beside us to my left. The classroom building, we built that building because we were out of room as far as students, housing students to have classes. And that building, I believe, was built around in 1998 also, may have been 99. On the first floor of the classroom building is located the Student Activities Office. So if you're wanting to get involved in student government association or clubs and organizations, you can find out what clubs and organizations we offer at Athens State. And also just getting involved. I highly encourage students while you're in college, if you can at all possibly get involved in a club or organization. It just enhances your college experience that much more. And it makes you a part of the university. We have 2 floors there, first floor and second floor, and then of course we have all types of classrooms. The President's home is located across the street from Founders Hall. That's where Dr. Glenn and his wife Laurie reside. So they will have usually an open house at Christmas time. McCandless is one of the buildings that's just been refurbished, and I don't know how many of you know where McCandless is or have seen McCandless. Okay, there's a couple of you. McCandless has an auditorium. We have our faculty staff meetings there. There's plays. Since we have the Alabama Center for the Arts that's located in Decatur, we have most of those plays there now. But there used to be plays held in McCandless, which has just gone under a total renovation project. Our Provost Academic Dean office is located on the 3rd floor. Also, our assistant to the provost is located over there. Our assessments office. And on the 1st floor, like I said, is our auditorium. If you get a chance, you need to walk over and look. We have a pipe organ. It's the original pipe organ. It was restored, and it is a beautiful building. If you ever get a chance to go over there, you need to go over there. One of the stories that we like to tell about McCandless Hall is the story of, or the ghost of Abigail. Abigail was a lady back in the 1900s. She came to Athens State, and she was an opera singer. And so she had been invited to sing, and she sang, and she received a standing ovation, and the community was, just, please come back, we want you to come back, and she had promised them, yes, she would come back. And so when she went, they gave her flowers and a standing ovation. And so when she left in horse and buggy, and it was storming. And as the story goes, when she left, the horse was scared by lightning and took off, and her buggy hit something in the dirt road, and she had a wreck, and she died. And so we now have what we call Abigail, and I can certainly tell you, being in McCandless Hall, and it's very quiet. Sometimes you can sit there and you think, okay, something is just, you hear a creak or two every now and then, and that's another little ghost story that we have about McCandless Hall. Is there any questions? Anybody have any questions, or where something located or not located? Anything that I haven't gone over? I just want to tell you again, make sure that you, sometime or another, while you're here at Athens State, walk around the campus. It's a beautiful campus, and we want you to enjoy it. It's yours to enjoy. You're a student here. And one other thing that we are having the first full weekend in October is our Fiddlers Convention. And the Fiddlers Convention it brings on about 15,000 people to this campus. The proceeds from the gate sales go towards the foundation scholarships. Some of you may have received a foundation scholarship. If you did, those gate proceeds, that's what helps fund some of our scholarships of the foundation. And just remember, it's a fun time. So we want you to enjoy it. All you have to have is a student ID to get in. So make sure you take advantage of that event that's coming up. It's October 7th and 8th. It's Friday and Saturday. So we want you to make sure, if you're in a club or organization, you've probably already been talked to about working Fiddlers food booth or something like that. So we definitely want you to take advantage of that event and enjoy it. Thanks again. I appreciate your attention, and I just want to say have a great day.